Hello, everybody. Very excited to be here tonight for the second to last round of the Silver Torun ITSL playoffs. And so the winner of this game is going to get to face Michael Stryker in the ITSL Silver Grand final. So this is the basically like second winner of ITSL of a sort. And so we have a great matchup here tonight with Cole Jarvis versus Roger Erill, and it should be a very fun game. So I'm Max DuBoff, Aidan Archer with me today in the booth. So without any further ado, let us get rolling here. Aidan, can you see everything?
I can see everything, and I'm seeing a very nice hand for the Soviets here.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing this. Yeah,
So
can cover
we're
great
watching from
early
Cole's
on.
side. Yeah, so we're watching from Cole's side here as the Soviets. So yeah, so say a little more about what you see here.
Well, I mean, it's always nice to, particularly the cards in hand. You've got options for the duck and cover is nice at DEFCON 5. Great way to get rid of that one. Decall into Asia for a early dom in Asia is also a potential. Controlling Truman's wonderful. And knowing that you're not going to get purged, and even having that as an option if you want. All good cards. Suez if you decided to make a play for the Middle East as well.
Yeah, so what do you headline here? Do you take the risk with decal if you're Cole?
Isn't that the question? Is that not the question?
So you normally like doing that, but Suez here is quite strong with the setup that Roger went with.
Suez gets full value, and it does allow you to then sort of coup into Iran with the hopes of kicking the US out of the Middle East.
Yeah.
That puts me in a bad position. But with the Asia scoring card, I mean, I don't know, many players, myself included, do sort of like to prioritize scoring card in hand. Decal's risky to lose to a headline defectors, so, how do you feel about that?
I think I'd go with Suez here. Yeah, and he sees defectors. All right, so good call not to play decal here. With France already filled, decal is also slightly less appealing. Although it's still good.
I was going to say, duck and cover coup, drop the DEFCON, decal into... Oh no, he's not duck and covering coup in here.
Yeah, well...
I would have thought...
The problem is with decal, then you're probably going to lose Thailand, assuming Roger goes to Malaysia, if you duck coup Iran.
True. You do have the China card, which early play is tough. You'd have 1 point of influence in there. You could make it prickly for him. Depending a little bit on how the Iran coup goes as well. You might have access to Pakistan.
Yeah, I mean, the big question there was whether to go with the 3-op or the 4-op, but the 4-op ended up being good because having 2 is nicer than having 1. But right, okay, so the decal here. And then, yeah, I think going into Africa is fine since the focus here is going to be on Thailand. I might want to get 1 in Algeria just because it's less likely to be couped. Yeah, well...
I do agree with that. Like, Algeria is a good call. The other option is obviously 1 point into South Africa and then spend the rest of your points in Southeast Asia.
Well, Algeria, South Africa, and then Southeast Asia is also fine. I mean, depends how risky you want to get. I don't mind eating a coup in Africa because USSR is certainly likely to get more coups in early wars. So, not super likely to be a big problem. Yeah.
And it does divert from Thailand as well. Like, any coup into Africa is going to protect Thailand and basically hand Dom, I think, to you. So, yeah, no, putting that is a good use of decal would be to sucker out some coups maybe from the US.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point. I imagine we'll see a Thailand fill. Oh no, a Thailand coup. Okay, what a big role there for Roger.
Does that completely end hopes of domination? No.
Not completely, although it'll be a lot tougher now. Now, that's interesting. So I guess the question was Panama versus Egypt. Panama is certainly good to get access there. I might have gone with Egypt since it's still turn 1, but it was a low enough roll that it really didn't matter. But fighting for that Middle East
Yes,
dom
that
would be
was a
helpful.
yeah, no, that's true. And ooh,
Ooh,
it's sneaky domination of Europe.
yeah.
He's
Eating that Europe dom is rough.
unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately, by not putting anything in Indonesia, the US is in a good position to body block any Asia domination.
Mm,
There's a few non-battlegrounds there that he can use to
yeah, good point. The
prevent
question is,
Asia.
yeah, the question is if Roger will sniff this out. No, yeah, okay, so, yeah, I mean, the question is, do you play the China card? Yeah, I
When
mean,
you have the scoring card, oh no, he's going to give up on it. It
yeah,
is rough losing the China card turn one.
yeah, I think
It
that's what
is
I would
very
do as well, but I can see an argument for playing it. So this line of play here with decal, I mean, with defectors being played in the headline, it's not like could have gotten the quick dom, but this didn't quite work out. And the early Europe dom is certainly tough for Cole. So we'll see here. Middle East looking, reasonably drawish so far.
yes. It looks like the US is going to enter. It's going to have a points lead, which is never nice. The But not for the Soviets, not this early in the war. I still turn one, but he does have duck and cover in hand.
Yeah.
So space is going to be
I
necessary, and that I suppose was part of the reason why he might not want to play the China card. With duck in hand, you might end up somehow getting finagled on a DEFCON loss,
mm,
or at least you might get your
yes.
hand pushed around.
Yeah, I would have space duck there to try to just get the early 2 points. So I'm not really sure. Um, oh yeah, he's speculating about Nasser hold because there's only one US influence in Egypt. So that's quite possible. This is not an exceptional hand, although it's certainly quite playable.
I mean, De Gaulle and duck and cover, which he's just signaled there, that's a pretty safe sort of way. I mean, it's expensive, puts
Do
the
you want to
US
give
up to
up three
7.
VPs with a different scoring
Yeah,
in hand?
yeah. I mean, it is really nice though to take France early on, and it
Sure.
would shift the position in Europe. Yes, before France gets reinforced, France gets heavily reinforced by the US at some point,
Wow, just
but he's
giving
not
up
going to take
Middle
that option.
East. Yeah. The problem is, so giving up Middle East is fine, I guess, but the problem is that um, Cole doesn't have a lot of obvious ways to get points here. I mean, he doesn't have access into South America. I mean, he doesn't have D-style, and he's not particularly ahead in the early war regions. He's saying, yeah, that he has to play blockade to get D-style out, which seems right. So the problem with giving up Middle East is just that he's kind of running out of options. Although, he might have been thinking that he couldn't really get Middle East Dom, which is probably right, unless he got a big coup. So it would just be kind of risky to rely on a big coup for Middle East, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean that is all very true. The question really, to me, though, arguing for not headlining Middle East would be that, well, where else are you going to be playing your ops this turn?
Yeah.
If Asia and Europe are scored, I mean, you might as well be dumping your ops into the Middle East. And even
Right.
if this ends up turning into a fruitless race, IP
Hmm. Hmm.
influence race in Israel, um, at
Yeah.
least you're not letting the US take advantage of their position,
Yeah, and I don't
their
hate a
access.
blockade headline there. Like, if you need to play blockade anyway, maybe just headline it. Now, um, the take of Israel, I mean, why Israel rather than Saudi here by Roger? That's a little bit confusing.
It's a bit risky going into the war, particularly with Egypt not filled. I mean,
Yeah.
it's only a 1 in 6, I suppose, but I'd
Maybe he just has the war. Yeah.
mm,
He
I'd be
probably just
controlling the
has the
war.
war and he's looking to neuter it. But just one in Egypt and one in Jordan would do that as well. But no, I mean it's you might want to take Israel at some point anyway, so nothing wrong with that.
No, that's absolutely true. And Israel can be protected against the war, and obviously the Middle East is it was the only place that was unscored.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is unusual. You're right. I do also understand like not putting too much influence into the battlegrounds, which are the three value battlegrounds, which you're going to get potentially Muslim revolution later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe. But yes, playing into battlegrounds would be good because Asia, as we're talking, Asia is slipping away from the US here, which I think Cole really does need to. The Soviets really do need to lean into the one place they have positional advantage.
Mhm. Yeah, no, totally agreed that investing heavily in Asia makes a lot of sense here. That's all well and good. And De Gaulle, I'd still play De Gaulle as an event at the end of the turn. Might as well try to get something going with it. So it looks like he's saving
It does
it.
give you yeah. I mean, the goal is a great headline. Defectors has been seen. That might be redrawn on turn 3. It does also give you access to Algeria, which is handy.
Well, yeah, De Gaulle headline is fine. I also just meant like as AR6 or something. But yeah, no, De Gaulle headline is certainly fine. And we still have some 4-ops unseen here. So Roger could have some nice big ops for the end of the turn and not super good places to spend them. But he could take Laos to try to make an Asia Dom harder. I mean, I'd probably be doing that if I had a lot of ops to spare. I mean, taking Angola is not such a bad idea either. Taking Algeria is very good. Obviously, Mexico could be helpful. So, I mean, Roger does have plenty of things to do with his ops, even if they're not pressing. Saudi still.
Yes, I mean, there's also the IP war to consider as well. If the US had that, would that have been played already?
Yeah, I have to imagine probably, but who knows? All right, so Cole putting De Gaulle back in the deck. I mean, right, if you're not interested in playing it for the event now, better to put it back in the deck.
Socialist governments we haven't seen either. I mean, I'd be looking to try and get adjacency to Italy to at least threaten a SOC gov's.
Yep, here's IP. All right, so I'm sorry, you were saying about adjacency to Italy would be nice. That's very interesting. Suckovs hasn't been
would have given you that.
Yet. Yeah. So no, that could be helpful. That's it's always a very interesting thing with the with playing fewer into Italy. I mean, very vulnerable to socialists, but it does seem to be becoming more popular, which is very interesting, and especially among Chinese players, but beyond too. So it's been a fascinating trend. Oh, and playing Marshall, playing Marshall for the ops, okay, and fortifying Europe. And that's all well and good. So, so it wasn't holding Nasser, or AI. So I guess, maybe.
AI he discarded to blockade.
I'm sorry. He just discarded blockade. I'm sorry. So D-Stall came out this turn, and it's in Roger's hand. That's tough. Okay, so socialist governments, Nasser, NATO, and D-Stall. Oh man, so Cole's not feeling great about his position, which makes sense. And by the way, I mean Cole thought that the U.S. won in Egypt was a dead giveaway for Nasser, but turns out it wasn't. Turns out that Roger was just okay with being wiped out of Egypt, which is not such a big deal.
No, I mean, and to be fair, I do know a lot of Soviet players don't like to coup Egypt, knowing that Nasser will probably give it to them later. Anyway, whether or not that's good play or not, I'm not entirely sure. But it is a factor in people's thinking. Mm-hmm. Nice coup into Libya, though.
Yes, that's helpful, especially with Nasser coming. So taking Syria will be good, and defectors hitting CNS is not such a big deal as defectors hits go. And good to have defectors out for mid-war. Yeah.
But yes, facing an uphill battle as far as ops go from the Soviet side here, and limited access without D-Style. So, moves in Africa. I mean, I don't know how much you want to hang on to those mill ops, but I would certainly consider start moving into non-battlegrounds in Africa. You need to start start making moves down there.
Yeah. The reason
You
I
run out of battlegrounds to play stuff into.
Yeah. No, that's true, but the reason I'd be really hesitant is because of the VP deficit. Um, but you're right that
Yes, you've
there's
got the two VP that you are hoping to get out of Millops, but it is a sacrifice of position, and might want to consider really putting the hurt onto South Africa as best I could.
Yeah. Well, I will say though, I mean, there's some important reinforcing that Cole could do. So he wants to make Africa VOA proof, at least to a significant extent, right? And yeah, Burma's nice for some more IP war protection. I was thinking that as well. Another option is the Koreas might not be a bad idea.
Yeah. No, I mean, Asia
Hmm.
is I wouldn't say knife edge, but his advantage there is not very strong. He's not at risk of he's not at risk of being dominated, but his domination could be taken
Yeah.
away
Well,
like that.
yeah, I was just gonna say that I might want to reinforce those one steps to prevent exactly what just happened. I was saying before that that Roger taking Laos could be good, and he got around to it now with a big up. I mean, it certainly seems like an ops disparity so far toward Roger, but we'll see. I
Yes, and I
haven't been
mean, I
rigorously
think
counting.
Roger has sort of taken the. I personally would also agree with when you are behind in battlegrounds in Asia, Southeast Asia is actually a pretty good place to invest. It will give you some
Mhm.
points during Southeast Asia scoring as well as
Totally.
blocking that dom, even if it
Yeah, yeah,
won't give you dom later.
totally. Yeah, yeah. No, indeed. I think I end up taking Laos a decent bit, um, but I mean it can go either way. And I kind of have been leaning more towards the overprotect there, but of course it's dependent on how many ops you have. And
Yes,
Cole is
yes,
sort
and
of
when you're behind
despairing.
on ops.
Yeah.
So how do you like to play when you're behind on ops? When you're clearly behind on ops, is this a moment where you try to be defensive and you, like you say, protect against
Hmm.
VOA, which he hasn't quite achieved yet in Africa?
Yeah.
Or do you
Hmm.
need to find ways, high risk strategies? Would you maybe realign South Africa at this point? Would that be
Oh,
a
that's
thing to?
interesting. I think that's really interesting. I think what I'd be thinking at this point is as Cole, my only chance is if I get some good access in the mid war. So what I'm going to do is reinforce what I already have and make sure I don't lose it, and then hope and pray that because if I don't get access, I'm going to lose anyway. But maybe that's the wrong attitude. I don't know. I mean, because trying to bully Roger doesn't make sense when you know he has ops like that NATO was known. But I'm curious what you would do.
Well, yeah. Again, I think it is a tough position to be in. You want to exploit whatever access you do have, and yes, you're right. You can't really bully. That said, I mean, forcing the US to put more influence into Saudi Arabia, I actually kind of like that, even if it's not so
Yeah.
much for. I don't know if it's good play, but it's certainly annoying play. Uh,
Well, actually, it worked out well here because of the Fidel redraw, because it meant that Roger had to play Fidel for ops rather than being able to space him a second time.
yes, that is true, and I guess spreading out in Central America. Are we giving up on Millops or
No, it looks like he
no? He's
reconsidered, which I think is probably the right call. Yeah, this East Germany is good because otherwise EU could cause you a real headache.
presenceless in Europe, which would be
Yeah,
very unfortunate on the scoring front. The
yeah.
other option he had would have been to try and play a bit more into non-battlegrounds in Europe to block domination. That way, that starts getting expensive, and when you're behind on
Hmm.
ops, it's kind of
Yeah.
fruitless.
And here is a hand. Skull put it that sexy. Well, this is, you know, exactly what we were just talking about hoping and praying for access. And it came through. So, yeah, so what do you headline here? Defector is already out, which is really nice. Do you just go with Junta to coup Mexico then? And then maybe you start off with Libs, if you get him out of Mexico.
I mean, I would say the strong play really would be you do the Junta into, what is it, Uruguay, you coup Mexico, and then you use one of your
Good.
4-ops to
Yeah,
take
good.
Brazil and Argentina.
Yeah, good. That's
And have,
that's a good play. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that would be what I'd do. And then later you even have liberation theology after you've established yourself in South America. You have
Yeah.
liberation theology to steal Panama.
Ooh, a bunch of red cards and also Africa. So source of points gone, but fortunately South America is looking a little better now. And yeah, so totally agreed that that the Uruguay play is quite nice for being able to spread more. Unfortunate there, but not the end of the world with libs coming. Okay, just as we were discussing.
Mm.
So now that is VOA proof. So we'll see
Yes,
if
and he can
Roger
also
has
get
anything.
alliance out quite cheaply. Unfortunately, he's not set
Yeah.
up for arms race. He might even be in a
No,
bad
yeah. Well,
position
with
for arms
Rush,
race.
yeah. Oh, and so the big coup on Uruguay. Um, yeah, that seems fine to take Paraguay to preserve the Dom. Now, I wonder if we'll see Roger just shove something big into Argentina here to threaten both Argentina and Chile. That depends on how many ops he has.
Yes, it absolutely does. I mean, it does. Chile is going to be a little bit difficult to fill. Yeah, if he does have some good opt card, that might be the option. Press Argentina and make it impossible for the Soviets to fill
Yeah.
both Chile and Argentina. But
Well,
one is
yeah.
yeah,
He's not a big card, but he still tries it.
and it's enough. I mean, if he had a 4-op, if there was another 4-op for the Soviet to have, then they could have actually blocked that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, at least you've now got an option to play influence into Chile.
There's not a ton of 4-ops around actually with RSP and we will bury you in Cole's hand and flower power discarded to our man. And NATO coming out last turn. So yeah, so maybe Cole was partly thinking that maybe Roger didn't have especially big ops.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? Roger, sorry, might not have had very strong ops himself. We can say about stuffing Argentina with with NATO or whatever you happen to have.
Right.
That might not have been possible anyway. I'm seeing a lot of ones come out of the Americans' hand at
Yeah.
this stage.
Right. So nice to get Alliance out totally for free. Now, are we using Brush on Mexico?
Feels like the option, doesn't
I mean,
it?
Thailand's not bad. I mean, it's only a third chance, but big if it hits for both
Well,
Southeast
no, I think
and for.
Italy is probably Italy is the
Oh,
other choice as
yeah.
well. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
Mexico is
NATO is
great
right.
and to give you Central America domination, but
Yeah,
NATO's not up. Italy's unprotected.
but that's good.
And
Yeah. No, Italy seems like a nice way to go. Yeah, it needs to space. John Paul's ungivable with Poland at 3.
he's going to need Brush War also for his mill ops, so that's his AR7 right there.
Ooh, all right. And so in early Central America, not great for coal. It's hip off. Oh,
Oh
so
dear.
a big possibility there that did not pan out.
Yes, and this game does revolve around dice, so you would have to take a look at that. Nice
Yeah.
to have the power cards in your hand. They're now seeing all 3 of the
Yeah.
power cards.
Yeah.
Hasn't translated into the scoreboard just yet.
No. So Southeast is uncomfortable. I mean, cooing Thailand, if you get a 4, then he's down to 1. Do you coup Thailand even though it's that big? I mean, it could be a 4-point swing with Southeast Asia and possibly important for Asia down the road.
Look, I mean, options you have here. One option is actually, and this sounds horrible, but you might want to ABM coup into Laos. and then either try realigns on Thailand or something. Not sure. But no, I guess protecting South America is more important than a couple of victory points in Southeast Asia. Even though I am a great advocate of the Southeast Asia.
Yeah, so now
Southeast Asia is close to region.
With Southeast Asia, what you said?
Oh, well, in your hand, Southeast Asia being in your hand, you might want to consider that.
Right. So Cole wanting to fortify South America in case Roger's holding it. Then the question is what to do about Asia here. So if you use ABM for ops, then you get to coup. But a coup war, I mean, I guess Cole is reasonably well positioned for a coup war. I guess that's fine.
He's got some options in terms of managing the China card with Usuri and Cultural. Whether or not he wants to play it out like that. I think, putting an extra point into Pakistan is definitely a good go. And we're starting a coup war in Southeast Asia, so it's on.
Yeah, so
and the US is not going to be able to drop DEFCON because it's got nuclear subs up.
Yeah, no, and nuclear subs definitely changes the equation a bit. And the coup war in Asia is better for Cole than other things that Roger could be doing with nuke subs.
Yes. Whether or not Roger's going to try and start attacking South America, would that be something that you do, knowing with nuclear subs? You're going to be able to keep doing it?
Yeah.
Or no, he's getting suckered into the coup war in Southeast Asia.
All right, well, not that big there. But already Southeast Asia looking a little better. And so, I mean, Roger's in an uncomfortable position here now because he wants to use nuke subs to attack elsewhere. But he, is sort of threatened to have some issues in Southeast Asia. I think as Roger, he just have to start doing elsewhere, whether that's Africa or that's South America. Oh, and that's an uncomfortable card to have to play too.
Yes, that is uncomfortable. You do have the option to coup back into Angola and try and move the coup war somewhere else.
Yeah, that's fine. Angola or Zaire or Nigeria is fine. Attempting to go Venezuela, but not with that card.
Yes, unfortunately, the attack into South America would go very well, perhaps onto LADs or something like that. But they are two ops. You don't have adjacency in a lot of those spots. You're going to need to roll the hard 6 or something like that to actually get the position.
Yeah, no, agreed. You need a big roll to pick up position on a 2-op coup into South America. And Roger keeps not cooing here, which maybe is fine. But now, Cole's just happy to keep cooing in Southeast Asia.
And it's working out for him at this stage.
So it's a good CRG at least. And that should soften up some of the targets maybe for coups, like Angola. I think we need to start seeing some coups here.
So now at this stage, are we starting to think that maybe now with the Asia domination restored, is it in the interest for the Soviets to start dropping DEFCON?
Yeah, that seems good. Although I guess part of what Cole is thinking is that he'll coup as soon as Roger coups to just counter coup, right? And Roger has a lot of events, which are some nice events, but not really taking advantage of nuke subs.
Fortunately not, yeah. And to be fair, high DEFCON is a good defense against nuclear subs. Not that that was clear when ABM was headlined.
So I think giving up Ask Not is probably fine here. I mean, Gunman was in Cole's hand this turn, so Roger's not going to be able to discard Gunman. And just getting Ask Not out of the game is not a bad idea. Okay, so that's so the Columbia Puppets helps with being able to have adjacency to Venezuela, but now with Quagmire. Oh, and he did he get out? No, he did not get out.
He did not get out. Did not get out. So that was a nice, a fortunate Quagmire there. How do you feel about mid-turn Quagmires? I've seen Quagmires come up on AR7 quite a lot. But how are you on mid-turn?
Well, I mean, I think it's good here because it takes away from using nuke subs. So here for a specific purpose, it's really good. I mean, in general, yeah, I mean, if there's a specific purpose, maybe I'll use it mid-turn. But otherwise, I think it can be nice to use it at the end of the turn, just in case your opponent misses a roll and then is paralyzed at the beginning of the
Well,
next
two
turn.
rolls in this case.
Yeah, well, now these two rolls missed by Roger are really helping Cole get back in it. And this game has really shifted. Cole said, he wasn't feeling great about this, and I couldn't disagree. But that turn 4 hand was just huge. And I think Cole really played that last turn quite well. That was impressive. And DEFCON at
Yes,
5,
he did.
and Roger's
DEFCON at
still on the
5.
quagmire.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Cuban Missile Crisis was a reasonable headline there, just to lower DEFCON, but I think the high DEFCON with your opponent under trap, I don't see any reason why you'd want to lower it. You'd want to be using that to take your coups, but the Soviets running out of options as to where to coup.
Yeah, that's quite true. I mean, Algeria is still good. Mexico is fine. You could even do something in Asia, maybe. I mean, just a non-battleground. So, as Cole was noting, he can, just break something here in order to drop Europe for free. And this is a good Brezhnev hand, or at least a solid one. Maybe not great.
Yeah, so it has mitigated that. Oh, I mean, with those ops, I mean, a lot of those cards you really want to space anyway. But
Yeah, and that's true. I guess you have to give Usuri. Ooh, and 5-year plan hitting voice.
Interesting. Is it too late for voice though? There's a lot of Soviet influence on the map. Where would voice go? I guess it gets you African position.
Yeah, get 2 African battlegrounds. That seems fine.
I mean,
Angola and
you've also
Zaire.
got Panama and Venezuela potentially,
Yeah,
or even
that's
maybe
nice too.
Panama and Nigeria. These would give you almost certain.
Might depend if he's holding South America's scoring.
Coup into Venezuela suggests it, but doesn't. I mean, that was just a sensible coup anyway, right? Given the situation.
No, that's right. That's right. With Africa gone, right? So, yeah.
Mm. Now, this is a very interesting voice. We'll see what he tries to do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, just taking stuff out of South America, like you could clear Venezuela and then reduce Brazil. That's demanding, but it's not. And it can just be replaced. It can just be repaired under Brezhnev. So it's not. You really need to be taking things away that the Soviets are not going to be able to repair. In this case, is.
Yeah. So especially with Cole under Brezhnev, it's not such a big deal. Okay, right. And so he's giving up China because now he can give up Usuri for free under Brezhnev. And I think Cultural was seen, but is still in the deck.
Yes, Cultural was played. Last round. We haven't seen Nixon though, as I remember. Not 100% sure on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, Usuri's not coming out just yet.
No, not quite yet. But this is not such a big deal. I mean, we'll give Roger the last coup, which is not the most ideal, but we'll probably just give up an African battleground.
Looking at potentially Asia scoring in Roger's hand, is this why he's suddenly concerned about queuing into Pakistan? Or
well, that certainly seems likely. Yeah,
it's going to happen sometime. I mean, we've got Middle East unscored and South America unscored. None of these are good for the US.
No. Yeah. So, I mean, taking Afghanistan also suggests Asia, although, who knows? Yeah, I mean, we'll see what Roger has in response. I mean, Cole is kind of running out of cards because he doesn't want to give USJ. But, yeah, so...
I mean, USJ has an option in terms of play and then fill, but he needs to regain a domination at the moment. So this is why I think he's playing into.
But if
Afghanistan.
Roger has one more 3-up, this won't work, right?
Yes. Have you been tracking cards?
No, no.
If not, why not? Every player should be tracking cards.
You know, uh, I just don't track cards, even when I'm playing tournament games. I know I'm the outlier on that, but oh man, so Cole just gave up Asia if Roger has it in order to coup and whiff, which is unfortunate. Hmm.
Yes. I mean, it is forcing a repair. So, I mean, Asia can't be played scot-free at the moment. It doesn't have any really lovely cards left, though, to play US, Japan, Asuri, both not helpful for your Asia position.
Yeah, although if I were Roger, I might just, if I had Asia, I might just play it and deal with Mexico later.
It's plenty of victory points. That's true, and you're running out of ARs. You don't know that the Soviet has these awful Asia cards in its hand.
Exactly.
You might be,
Exactly.
but you'd also
Yeah,
be looking. I mean, Mexico is not nothing. That does flip Central America into Central America control, which
for sure. That's important. Ooh, super
is
chat for
important.
influence. Yeah. And just doing some repairing. All right. So now if Roger does have Asia, he still has a convenient opportunity to drop it. It's not looking like he has South America. Okay, he did have it. Okay. So he was fortunate that Cole couldn't fight for Asia harder. Hmm.
He was fortunate there. South America still an issue, and Middle East. I mean, there is Sadat is yet to appear, or Camp David, for what that's worth.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's enough to change the position.
Mhm.
If you can get Egypt in the correct order, that would neutralize Middle East. Still, South America, big problem for the US, with
Yeah.
no clear way of avoiding it. And OAS is wonderful and all,
Yeah. Well, that at
but
least breaks the control. But this is still going to be an uphill battle here for Roger. I mean, there's lots that could happen. This game is very live. So it's a relatively low up hand here for Cole, which could help, but the Africa redraw looks very nice.
redraw is
Hmm.
nice, and also knowing that your opponent holds those scoring cards, what Middle East and South
Yeah,
America.
that's right. This is a perfect one small step situation. So I think that probably has to be the headline, although a Lads headline is maybe conceivable.
I mean, I have a soft spot in my heart for Lads. I do love them, but yeah, no, I'd have to say, yeah, one small step. It's a pretty tasty headline right now. It's a 4-up swing to steal that from the US, as well as this close to late war. It's nice to be ahead of them,
All right,
but
yeah. So
scoring cards
the
come out.
yep, it's the expected South America and then Africa. So now the scoreboard is very red and no positive region for Roger here right now. So he needs to get a positive region and fast. Cooing Haiti would be
Or
good. I
whiff.
mean, Cole's signaling that one small step is, he has to play immediately. Certainly for Roger, spacing right now is good if he can. Taking Europe back, taking West Germany back is a priority, so he might be doing that before spacing.
Yes, that break, yeah, and leaving battlegrounds broken is a good way of delaying your opponent's space. Otherwise, at the
Yeah,
risk of losing your battleground.
yeah, that's a
I'm
good point.
not super worried about Venezuela as the Soviet here. You've always got the coup into Colombia and then realigns out. I don't mind the influence wars in Latin America when
Mhm.
I'm the Soviet as well. There's always a threat of a Latin American debt crisis sort of turning these influence wars in your favor.
Yeah.
And
Well,
there's wonderful.
and what Cole noted is that if Roger used a bunch of ops in the Middle East, Cole wouldn't be able to stop it. But on the other hand, I think Roger probably sees that he has a lot of problems and priorities here. So Be that as it may. Now, um,
Yes,
yeah.
unfortunate timing on Sadat, not really achieving a whole lot there. I don't know if you'd sort of Sadat after Camp David is a much superior
Well,
event.
it's still true though that if Roger puts China into Egypt or Iran, then he can stop Dom. I mean, he doesn't know though how weak Cole's remaining cards are. The problem too is that if he plays China, he loses Formosan, which he obviously doesn't want to do.
Yes, I mean that won't affect domination. It does exclude a potential domination, if you were to flip one card. But the Soviet is already in a position where many of his battlegrounds are overprotected.
Yeah.
Maybe not Africa, but there are quite a few sort of ones. But yeah, here we go, pushing.
Yep. So he's trying it. Now let's see how many ops he has left. Yeah, let's see how many ops he has left. Might be able to get Nixon if he jams again, which would be nice.
Yeah, and we've moved past also a zone where say VOA would be able to clear anything out here either. There's so much influence in the Middle East that's not going to be helpful anymore. I'm just trying to think of cards that might flip the story in the Middle East. Iran-Iraq war
coup.
might go your way.
Yeah, aye, that's true. Yeah, that big coup in Nicaragua is going to make things a lot more difficult for Roger fighting back there as well.
Mm.
Give me 1 sec to plug in my computer.
So we're looking at, he's got to manage one more card, either Camp David or Panama. I can't see any reason why he'd be playing Panama at this particular moment. Camp David, I guess you sort of play and repair, gives you a few more sort of options. But I guess either is doable. I am not seeing whether or not the Arab-Israeli war has happened, though at this stage that's not a factor. Poultry Middle East, missile envy.
Yeah, so not the strongest missile envy ever, but oh well. It wouldn't have been super strong earlier in the turn with Salt being pretty givable too.
Yes, this soon after the reshuffle, you're absolutely right. But West Germany's still open.
Yeah.
We want to be finding some places for the US to start getting doms back on the board. He's currently down 4 doms to 0.
Yeah. Although, I mean, ideally, it'll be a Europe dom after retaking West Germany, but it's getting harder to see a viable VP path here for Roger.
Yes. Are you starting to look at Europe control? Are we looking for a save that Chernobyl, East European unrest kind of situation?
I mean, that is very much on the table. DEFCON's kind of unlikely because CIA is already out. It was played turn 5, I believe. Deck and Cover is now in Cole's hand. So DEFCON's getting pretty unlikely, but Europe is very possible. And we saw Cole starting to fortify East Germany a little. But if I were Cole, I'd definitely be wanting to fortify Europe quite a bunch this turn to try to protect against any Europe shenanigans with a probably a winning board position.
Yes, well, exactly. And this is a very important point as well. Once you sort of, how soon is too soon to consider the game won on the board? That's a judgment call everybody has to make. And when, as you say, when do you need to start fortifying against serious risks? And when you are ahead on the board, you've got to start looking at what your opponent's going to be wanting to do. So at this stage, I want control of the China card. If that's at all possible. There's not going to be any hold. DEFCON cards that help your DEFCON are also handy. Like ABM Treaty can sometimes get you out of a tricky situation by raising DEFCON for you. But he's also he's got ABM Treaty and Brush War. He's such strong cards.
Yeah, since turn 4, with the exception of last turn, Cole has had some really nice cards here. And Cole was also just noting to us, through the chat, exactly what you were just saying, and I was saying too about wanting to take China back and wanting to put ops into Europe. So, so terrorism hitting cultural is kind of annoying there, but still, he can put ops in Europe, and having the central control is very nice.
Yes. Now, these are all things that, I mean, at this point, as the US player, have you completely given up on the board? Central control scoring right now would win the game, would win the game for the Soviets. So, do you respond to that before you start making plays into Europe? What are your thoughts there? Or is it starting to become a DEFCON only situation?
That's a really good question. And I might just start by realigning Mexico just to see if you can get something going. Maybe kick him out of Panama too if you have some good rolls. So I might turn to Miracle Realigns. Although actually wanting to realign Venezuela is maybe first priority and taking West Germany. Sorry, I may not have answered your question well.
Well, I mean, these are all, and this is the difficult sort of situation that the American finds itself in at the moment. The US has to, it's got lots of priorities and lots of problems. There's a win state, which is Europe control, and there's DEFCON, and there's also the lose state of Central America scoring. So what's it going to be? 2 points out of Panama, definitely.
Interesting, yeah.
That's good. Though we're now looking at a coup war in Colombia.
Yeah. So this is a very well-timed destall. I was wondering if we were going to see the reverse destall into Europe. Okay, so we do see a partial reverse destall. I mean, I might as well take the one in India, I feel like, right? But I guess maybe losing Asia is actually totally fine on this board when you have a control and 3 more DOMs.
Yes, and this actually, I think, is I quite like this as an opportunity, giving the US an opportunity to hand over the China card, which you would love to see. So I think the India is good bait.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And so Cole was noting that he could lose to Purge here, which would be very funny. It would be very unfortunate for him, but would be very funny. Okay, so Roger is trying the realigns, which don't work super well.
No, he did choose to realign into Panama first, and now
but he's
gonna
be able to get Panama if he has a 3-up, so that's fine. Yeah, so he's getting a little bit closer in Central America, but still, there's just so many regions to flip, and also not using VOA for Zaire and Nigeria is kind of tough, or Angola. I mean, those African battlegrounds, I think, might have been a real opportunity to just straight up flip to battlegrounds.
Yes, we're starting to see. I mean, he's had twice. He's been offered those battlegrounds through VOA, and twice he has refused them.
Okay, and another brush miss on Italy.
Well, at least something's going right for the
last
Americans.
Time we feel a little bad for Cole for missing the Italy brush, but this time we don't need to feel bad for him, I think. Okay. That would have been exciting. Is he still holding Sadat from last
No, so that was evented. Yeah, so that was evented, and then
you're right.
Salt
Yes. Oh, that's
cover.
right. That's right. Good point. Yeah.
No,
so
the outs are closing for the US.
And
he
Cole
still
just
hasn't
solidifying.
taken West Germany.
Yeah. I think maybe Rogers had to manage some tough hands here, to be fair.
Oh, and Dice hasn't always been friendly to him either.
No.
Or cards, to be frank. I mean, getting Hunter into on turn 4 and setting us off in South America was very nice. And the plays into, in spite of a lack of D-style, the plays into Africa have been largely unchallenged as well, which has scored quite a few points for the Soviets. Yeah.
Right. And
sorry, which era were you looking at?
So Cole was saying that he didn't realize that that Roger was next to India in Burma, and so he wasn't prioritizing retaking India because he thought that Roger couldn't get in there. But of course, Roger was adjacent.
So it wasn't bait at all. It
Yeah,
was just a mistake.
not a big deal. Well, we were creating other justifications for his play. We were saying maybe it was fine, even if he did realize that. But right, and related to what you were saying before, yeah, I mean, I'd say for Roger, it's about over here on the board because even if he manages to flip the board, it's going to be really hard to make up this deficit.
Yes, and now with Chernobyl gone, it's going to be very hard for the
Yeah,
US to really effectively fight in clear
yeah.
control.
OPEC is about to give 4 points. Europe is going to give 5 back to Roger, but Asia's um, pretty even. So yeah, I mean, in order
Yeah, it's going
to have a chance on the board, Roger needs to maybe start having some miracle realigns, maybe some big ops into African one steps. Those have been flippable for a while, but other things have been going on.
Yes, yeah, no, the Africa's been completely underplayed. And with normally the swingy continent, you often see a lot of sort of
Yeah,
easy ops and easy actions to be done in Africa.
yeah,
Lots of one steps to coup, lots of movement and volatility. Not this game.
yeah.
Lone Gunman definitely the headline here.
Yeah, gunman's totally fine here. Yeah, do you coup East Germany just to create problems? Or do you realign? Yeah, okay, so that creates a little bit of problem, but okay, so Star Wars is active, which is very nice. EU could be annoying, although with Poland at so many and John Paul nowhere in sight, that's probably fine.
Yes, it certainly does. As he's pointing out, he does want to get OPEC off before North Sea oil
Mhm.
comes out, assuming
Yeah,
that oil even gets invented.
I mean, you can
But
just
something
play
you'd want to consider.
OPEC right now, though. There's nothing preventing Cole from just playing OPEC AR1, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And to a certain extent, like North Sea oil is probably a more interesting card on turn 10. Having those
Yeah,
extra
yeah,
ARs after the Soviet has finished
that's
is
right.
quite nice.
Yeah, well, and the problem for Roger right now is that with decal, he can't really play an eighth action round unless he wants to play China, and he doesn't know that Cole is holding Asia, so he doesn't want to give up Formosan at least yet.
Mm. Yes, I mean, again, that's only worth one victory point. It's not going to flip domination, but it's still a factor.
Yeah, and so Cole is thinking something more aggressive here. I I would have to look back at the hand. I mean, I'm not sure he quite is enough to back this up. I might just take the OPEC points just to be safe, but because OPEC and
You know,
Europe
again,
kind of cancel each other out.
yeah. I think I doubt that the points are really the problem that you're worried about at this stage. You'd have to say that some sort of Europe calamity is what you're mostly worried about.
Yeah.
So
He
whatever
also
that
wants to
looks like.
repair East Germany, which is fair. That's a good point. Um,
Yeah, so it's interesting that he's then turning around to break West Germany at the same time. I mean, I know that you've got Europe scoring in hand, and it would be nice to do that. But, it's more
yeah.
costly to break than defend.
Yeah, as he was saying, he just doesn't want to allow Star Wars to take VOA, which is fair. I mean, as Roger, I might also be thinking here I'm behind so much that I want to hold VOA for turn 10. Though even on turn 10, he might be so far behind that it wouldn't matter. Actually, and there's so much
Potentially.
overprotection that it probably wouldn't matter all that much.
VOA can be an absolute monster.
Oh,
But yes, he's behind on victory track and on board. Um,
yeah. All right, so Asia and Europe coming out. Yeah, getting harder to see any outs here for Roger. But it's been a very interesting game. That early war, yeah, was really swinging towards US, and then that turn forehand from Cole, followed by some things on turn 5 and 6, really turned it around. All right.
Yes,
Oh,
he's doing
and
it.
that's a brutal miss
Oof.
too for Roger.
Now that's got to be a Central America scoring, presumably.
Well, we just saw his
That's
hand with
something.
gunman, and I don't think he had that.
Oh, right, yes. No, but he's worried about it, clearly.
Yeah.
Enough to pay 2 victory points for a shot at Mexico.
Yeah,
Um,
which Mexico, I mean, I might have gone for Brazil or something to cancel the South America down because Mexico is more, although actually Brazil is also reliable right now. Um,
hmm,
so those could be very important. Oh, and he'll be able to discard decal, which is very nice. That's quite convenient. So he'll have a
yes.
clean turn 10
Yes.
hand at least.
Lovely to be on space 6. And he's still holding North Sea oil. Do we think that might be
No, he played North
a
Sea
turn 10
drops.
headline?
No, AR1, he played North
I
Sea
know.
drops.
You're right.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I don't remember everything else he has. That's quite tough. Yeah. Oh, it's tough to have
Oh,
to
two
give up all these
victories.
flower power points. Okay, and no miracle 6 there, so it would have been helpful, but not to
Yes.
be.
Yes. Is this just the fact that we're not getting the miracles? Did we need to get John Paul out for any decent miracles? Is that the
Yeah, that seems likely. I mean, some big realigns could still help here, but again, the problem is that Roger's behind by so much. They needs not only to swing the board, but swing the board enough to make up this VP difference. So even if he takes coal out of Mexico and Brazil, which he could do, then it would be hard to make up the VPs.
So
Oh
now this
man.
is so basically we're looking at DEFCON as being the final solution, so to speak, assuming that it's even possible. We're not sure. There are unplayable twos, like so grain sales would be an issue, but we've seen a lot of those cards. 5-year plan we've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So trying
I
these
mean
miracle relines. Oh, and that does work on Mexico at least.
it's starting to happen. But yes, I can sort of see nuclear test ban being a very good hold for the Soviet here,
Yeah,
as being an
drops on
option to give
drops.
you 2 levels of DEFCON and get you out of potential DEFCON
Oh,
loss.
yeah. Great point with just making sure you can get out of any DEFCON worries. I'm not sure there's enough DEFCON cards in the deck to really be a problem. I mean, there's Cow, but is there anything else? Ducks out, CIA's out, Star Wars is out.
Grain sales is there. Um,
Grain cells in the deck? No, isn't the grain cells in the discard?
I'm not
He
entirely
held it
sure.
through to turn 7. He held it through to turn 7.
Uh, yep,
Yeah.
that's a good point. So he's managed DEFCON very well.
Yeah.
Perhaps even
Yeah.
holding nuclear test ban is overprotective, but
Mhm.
you know,
That's not bad for the
I
ops, obviously. Yeah. And
also
no,
handy.
no DEFCON worries at all here. This is a great big op hand for Cole here, turn 10. And Muslims could
Yeah.
be nice too. He prepared Saudi Arabia for Muslims earlier, and it could pay off, although he might have bigger fish to fry.
Well, I mean, at this point, yeah, I can't see the path to victory.
Yeah.
He's taking that.
Yep, John Paul, but
No, it's
it's
starting.
too little, too late, I think. Um, yeah, it's a nice Muslims, but yeah, it seems like too little, too late here, especially with Cole holding Warsaw.
Mm,
So even if there had been something in Europe, with Cole holding Warsaw, it's not like there's all that much that Roger can do.
no. So, I mean, can I commentator curse this and somehow say that I'm calling a Soviet victory?
It's happened to me before as a commentator, saying that someone was, well, I'm usually hesitant to say that it's lost on the board. A little bit more hesitant than other people are, but what was the Menzel, right, was coining the other day as Justin Abramson special is when you speak something into existence, like getting purged. So.
No, it is a danger always calling it too early, but I think the Soviet has set themselves up very well to keep this victory together. So, I mean, were there any unnecessary risks that you think the Soviets sort of took in the last sort of few rounds? Were there sort of plays that you would have done differently?
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, he sort of realized on turn 8 that he should fortify Europe, which seemed good, seemed about the right time. Yeah, I mean, I guess just one thing is as Roger, maybe I would have turned to Desperation Realigns earlier. I mean, obviously, that might not have worked, right? But just trying to play your outs a little bit. I
Yes.
mean,
A small
Cole
chance of winning
mentioned,
is better than none.
right, right. I mean, Cole mentioned that there was that one turn where if he had gotten purged, it could have turned out poorly for him on DEF CON, but no, I mean, he played pretty conservatively in the end stages here, I think.
Yes, and this also being a semi-final match, there's no particular reason to force the machine. Like he doesn't need to win like on turn 9 or turn 8 or turn 7 or anything like that.
No,
There's
I
no
don't believe
advantage to winning
so.
early.
Yeah, no, I think it's just winner goes on to face Michael Stryker in the ITSL Silver Playoffs Grand Finals. So yeah, no turn score aspect here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and there's that Brazil realign. Oh, and Cuba too. All right, maybe go for Venezuela just to remove access to Brazil. There we go.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean it's plenty to counter that by Cole. So it's really
Those
not.
are the miracle rail lines that we're talking about.
Yeah, but it's too little, too late, unfortunately. No, without any
Yes,
scoring
I'm
cards.
hearing that a little bit too much, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that neutralizes South America. So, so there's DOMs in Middle East and Africa. So the board is, in the end, pretty even, but um, it's been pretty squarely in Cole's court here for a while.
Yes, after a very
Yeah, and just Aldrich gone now.
sort of early one.
Say that again.
Especially after a very disappointing early war for the Soviets,
Yeah,
a strong early war for the US.
right.
No access. I mean, well, there was. Sorry, that's not entirely true. In the early war, the access wasn't really there in terms of losing D-Star, but he did play
Yeah, decal.
into decal into Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Took that risk, and that worked out for him. And you're right, not many VPs actually on the board, but so many already on the track that it was not a factor.
Yeah, indeed. Well, interesting game and really interesting in particular for the comeback here. Always good to see USSR be able to come back after a disappointing early war. And just, another lesson that VPs sometimes do not matter quite as much, even though, of course, everyone's right to to play for VPs as much as they can. Any final thoughts, Aidan?
No, I mean I do. I do agree with you that it was heartening to see the Soviet buck that trend. It's generally sort of a common knowledge or commonly understood or commonly believed at least that unless the Soviets start strongly, they don't have a good chance in the middle war, and that's not entirely true. The mid war is wide open. Don't give up, even when all ahead looks dark as night.
Yeah, great point. And you never know when you might have a very well-timed junta to come save you. Excellent. Well, this was a pleasure to cast, and best of luck to Cole facing Michael Stryker in the ITSL Silver Grand Final. We'll have more ITSL action for you here on Action Round Zero. Hopefully, quite possibly a game from the overall semifinals of the main playoffs, and certainly we'll try to get some of the ITSL main finals here on Action Round Zero. Thank you so much, as always, to Anton Scott, ARZ's executive producer, for all the fantastic work he does for the community. And for now, Max and Aidan signing off. Wishing you a lot of fun Twilight Struggle in your future. Farewell.